Good morning, guys. It's Amy Bennett with the AM Show. Happy Tuesday. I am back in my bathroom today. Kids do not have school today because today, if you haven't heard, is election day. So let me encourage you first off, go vote. Go vote, okay? It's important, and I just always think, especially as a female, we have not always had this privilege. It is a privilege, and we need to exercise it. So I'm planning to vote today. I'm going to get out there. I don't know what time yet. I've got a full deck of meetings today, so I am going to try to get out there. I'm targeting this evening, unless I can slip out. So go vote, first of all. Another thing, good morning, Nancy. Another thing today I wanted to let you know is today is also, it's not just election day, it's Feathers podcast today. So we have a new podcast out today. It is with Lauren Gaskell. Lauren actually is a podcaster herself. She runs a ministry, She Found Joy. So she has a podcast. They do ladies' night out events. She is just fantastic. She has a new book that's actually launching today called Into the Deep. It's all about faith, and so I think you guys are going to love it. And I really enjoyed talking to her. Actually, if Gina Fox happens to jump on, sometimes she jumps on this morning call, not call, I'm not like at work, our morning live video. She gets on here sometimes, and anyway, she connected us. So really happy to get to know her. I think you're going to love her. She was just, because she's a podcaster, she was totally like, she's professional. So she was a great guest. So I hope you get to check that out today. Yeah. So a couple more people joined. Sherry, Marie, Lori. Marie says, good morning and happy Feathers Day. Yes, I was just talking about Lauren, who I have today. All right, so I want to get straight to today's scripture, and I was reading in Psalm 66, and it really just jumped out to me and encouraged me, and I want to just encourage you guys. And let me just tell you, Scott told me, I didn't really see Scott yesterday. He went to work at 12. He didn't get home till the middle of the night, and then he was up again this morning and is going to be gone all day. But he told me this morning in passing, when we saw each other for like 10 minutes, he was like, I watched your video yesterday. You're encouraging me. And so, I don't know, that was really sweet, to be able to do that. So, anyway, so I hope this encourages you. I am in Psalm 66, verse 8 through 12. I'm going to read, I'm just going to read through verse 12, although I would highly recommend that you read the whole chapter. All right, so here we go. Praise our God, O peoples, let the sound of his praise be heard. He has preserved our lives and kept our feet from slipping. For you, O God, tested us. For you, O God, tested us. You refined us like silver. You brought us into prison and laid burdens on our backs. You let men ride over our heads. We went through fire and water, but you brought us to a place of abundance. And yesterday we talked a little bit about it. Like, we just feel like we are in a place of, I don't even know the words that I use, just in a place of need. And what I saw this morning is just how God does this, how God does. We have a tendency to blame everything else, everyone else, but I want to remind you that God is sovereign, God is in control, and God does test us. God allows us to go through this testing in order to bring us to a place of abundance. I just wanted to rehash what he says. It says, you refined us like silver. It's God's work that refines us like silver. It says, you brought us into prison. Like, who says that about God? Like, you brought us into this prison. You laid burdens on our backs. God laid the burdens on the backs. God did. You let men ride over our heads. So the men did it, but God let them. God let them. And it says they went through fire and water. I don't know, some of you feel like you're going through fire and water, and that you are being tested. It's like you are being burned at this time of life. You just feel like you can't take anything more because you just feel like you're in the fire. Maybe you feel like you're in deep water, just to pull in what Lauren talks about. We feel like we're in deep water, and then we feel like we're drowning. We can't take any more. It says, we went through fire and water, and God did it. And why does he do that? He does that because he's refining us. Because in those places of fire, in those places of deep waters, that is when we're purified. That is when we're purified. And that is how we can come to a place of deep spiritual abundance. God has a purpose, and he is at work doing something. When we're in deep waters and we're in the fire, man, our faith is tested, so our faith comes out stronger. If we rely on God, through these times, our faith will be stronger. God will refine things out of us during some of these seasons. Sin, whether it is pride, oh man, a season of testing will humble you like nothing else. Maybe this is a season where he's trying to humble you and say, hey, you actually can't do your life. You actually can't do it. You really need me to get through life. God will humble you so you recognize your need for him. This might be the season where he's humbling me, and saying, oh, you can't figure this out. Yeah, that's because you need me, and that's the way I made you. So he will let you go through a season where you learn, man, you can't do it. He will go through a season where he prunes out impatience, jealousy. He teaches you to be faithful, and man, he just does. Who knows what God is doing, right? But he does let us and puts us in these times of testing. God does it. And I think that's the thing I want us to remember and to recognize is God is at work. And to recognize hey, maybe God's at work here, and what is he trying to do? What is he trying to teach me? And to quit shaking our fist at the world and whoever else, and just to submit. Like it talks about, we have the potter and the clay, right? There's the potter and the clay, and the potter is building something. He's making something. And who is it for the clay to say, Potter, what are you doing? No, the clay surrenders to his hands. We have a Father who is an artist, who is creative, and who is making good things out of us. I think about Mark Gungor, I think it is, that sings, he makes beautiful things. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing with us as he molds us and lets us go through the fire. I think of even the clay that might go through the kiln, the fire to solidify it, to make it stronger. And that might be where some of us are today, is in that time of testing. And we have to recognize and maybe get to a point of surrender, saying, hey God, I see that you are at work. What are you doing? What are you up to? What do you want from me in this time? And just quit fighting and just surrender and saying, hey, I recognize that you are at work here. It's you that is doing the work. And then the last sentence, I just want to give you hope. It says, but you. I always love that phrase, either but you, and it's talking about but God. But God. But God. That's always the good news of all of these stories. But God. But God brought us to a place of abundance. He brought us to a place of abundance. You're going to a place of abundance. If you would submit and follow God and keep your faith, he will bring you to a place of abundance. He will bring you to a place of abundance, spiritual abundance. Your faith will be stronger. You won't have this, you can have victory in certain areas of your life as you go, and you will be you will be stronger. He's bringing you to a place of freedom. God is all about abundance and freedom. It is for freedom that Christ set us free, and Jesus came to give us life and life more abundantly. That's the things that God is all about. We may go through these times of testing. We may go through these times of testing where it's hard, where it feels like we've got burdens laid on our back, where it feels like we're in the fire, where it feels like, men are riding over our heads. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like men are riding over my head. But it is all about him bringing us to a place of abundance and freedom. So I just want to give you hope. If you feel like you're in that place, there is a purpose. If you're in that place, there is a purpose. And just to continue, keep your eyes focused on him, submit and surrender to his work, and just keep doing the next thing that he's asking you to do, and persevere. Yes, in that place, persevere. have the peace today. In that place, persevere, because there is a purpose. All right. Well, that encouraged me. It reminded me God is sovereign. God is still on the throne. There is a purpose to what I am going through, and there will be something good that comes out of it. So I hope that does the same for you. All right, guys, again, go vote today. Make your voice heard. It is a privilege that we get to do this today. And what else? Go listen to the podcast if you haven't picked it up even yet today. Go pick that up. Go listen to it. And then I think that's it, guys. So I'm off to get my day started. Like I said, I have a full day of meetings on the board. So I'm going to go get prepared to sit in my desk all day. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and we'll see you back tomorrow. Bye.